Sonny!
Yes?
Nothing would thrill me more greatly than to shoot you. Knocking off a youngster ain't gonna mean all that much to me. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
But since we're in a hurry, I'll make a deal with you. You throw down your camera, and we won't hurt you. You'll never hear from us again. Okay?
You promise?
I cross my heart and hope to die.
Okay.
Okay, kid. Give it to me.
Piece of Valition would betray me!
Direct it.
So dramatic, Christopher Zazzle.
How many fingers am I holding up, Marv?
How about you just leave me the hell alone?
Okay, kid. You want to throw bricks? Go ahead, throw another one.
How's it going, everybody? So today we're talking about a particularly special kind of individual named Vilitionraxx, in which it's been a long time since I've made a video or stream about old Valition, and it's mainly because there's just a whole lot of dead air surrounding the guy. He's not very bright. He tends to drag things on in a very uninteresting, quite annoying way to me, so I just kind of wasn't interested. But today, my friends, I started watching him again. He essentially believes that this company called Arasaka is in North Korea and is trying to take over Steam, the gaming website where you can buy games and whatever, but he thinks this fictional company from Cyberpunk 2077 is going to take over the entire world, my friends. And, you know, if I know anything about Vilitionraxx, it's that he's correct about everything, including things that just do not make sense whatsoever. But no, in all actuality, this guy, he's loony, man. He's loony. He's something else. And you're going to hear him talk about why he won't get a job, in which he gives 1,000 different reasons. He says that people won't hire him. He says that he's an outlaw, and outlaws don't get hired at jobs. And he just makes loads of excuses. And if you don't know, Vilitionraxx is a guy in his mid-20s, and he claimed to be an illegal immigrant, that he didn't have citizenship. He also loves to talk about the Neo-Roman Empire or something like that. He says a lot of political jargon, sort of like Tofia does, except he has a completely different political belief system. And that political belief system is that he is a Neo-Roman Empire or something like that. I'm not really sure. The guy has some wild beliefs that just are not central in reality whatsoever. But Vilitionraxx, he goes beyond real concepts. He just makes up stuff like Arasaka in North Korea. I'm not sure why, but it's just something that he does. But I'm gonna go ahead and start playing this little video. It's quite something. There's no visuals involved, so he just decides to show the dark sky. I guess he's sitting outside, I don't really know, but he's just not showing anything.
Howdy, folks. It's your man, Antifa, the Neo-Roman Empire. And today, I have actually really good news. So, the lightning. So, what's the good news is that they've decided not to cut the insurance from me. That's the great news. So, yeah, everything has got better. There is still another bad news that I really have to tell you, folks. Have you folks ever heard about what's going on in the Steam? I personally heard, well, I should not say personally if I don't know the definition of personally, but anyway, like I said, so, oh wait, that was the YouTubers. It was the YouTubers that talks about the Steam. They said that the Steam will remove every single game that bank don't like. Yeah, all of the YouTubers did say that the bank the banking system, I guess, will take over the Steam, and will have a Steam to remove every single game that the bank don't want, which is another bad news for me. I've heard about that. I've heard about the YouTube did say that the bank will have Steam remove any single games that bank don't like.
You know, it's strange to me because he's shown that he's able to speak basic English. Like, I understand that English might not be his first language, and I'm not going to criticize him on that. But I have seen him speak English better than this. I'm not sure why he's putting so many uhs and ums in there. I think it's because he is trying to remember this stuff, and because his mind is the size of a pea, it tends to cause it to break down. He needs to add oil to it. He needs the grease to get it going again. So maybe that's it. I don't really know, but he often does this. He drags things out. He doesn't make any sense. He's talking about things that he doesn't know anything about, and it's just ridiculous. Dude, you don't know anything about going on Steam. Like, if there is bank stuff going on, it's that banks prevent you from buying certain things on the internet because they feel like it's unsafe for some reason. And there are obvious dangers on the internet where your personal information can be taken. However, that's not what Volition is talking about. He's not talking about banks stopping you from buying certain things. No, he's straight up saying that these banks are going to come in and they are going to stop you from buying games on Steam. And in a total bad reality, yeah, maybe that could happen, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part, but I don't want to trust Vilitionraxx's words. I have no idea what he's talking about.
It's one of the worst year we experienced. First, we are living in an authoritarian country. The country that is no longer a capitalist. It got replaced with autocracy. And also, YouTube will have the ID verification update, and then Steam will remove all of the game that bank doesn't like. Yeah, it's just keeps getting worse in the year 2025. It's getting worse. Yeah, it's just getting more terrifying. It is definitely not what I want that. It's just really terrifying. I just really hope the Steam will not remove Warhammer Darktide from the Steam. I really hope the Steam will not remove one of my favorite Half-Life clone. It's called Delta Particles.
Now I'm gonna pull an actually right here, but actually, Volition, it's not called a Half-Life clone. It's called a Half-Life mod, because it's a mod based on Half-Life. It's not a clone. I mean, yeah, it's based on Half-Life, but it's not like they're stealing anything from Valve or something. So I don't understand why you don't get that for a second. But on top of that, you're worried about all these games. Why aren't you worried about the idea that a bank can tell you what you can and can't buy? I mean, I think that'd be a big concern on anybody's part, because, like, think about it. Like, if a bank could tell you what you can and can't buy, what if they stop you from buying a certain brand of something? Like a certain brand of bread because they're not partnered up with the bank or some crap like that. That'd be crazy, but that's not what Volition is saying here. He's mainly just worried about video games and how this might affect him, in which, yeah, he plays a lot of video games, but I've never even seen him play Darktide before. He usually just plays Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 with his weird, odd-looking characters. He loves the Dragon Ball Z characters a lot, especially Broly. Oh man, if you know, you know. He likes Broly a little too much, I must say, but he's not gonna admit that after after that whole debacle.
I've heard that some of the YouTuber they did say that the president of the United States will stand up against the Steam censorship. They said that the president will save gaming. I hope it's not clickbait. I really hope it's true, because I really don't want to lose Warhammer Dark Tide. In fact, I cannot afford losing Warhammer Dark Tide. I paid it with my own money. I spent my money on a Dark Tide, and I spent my money on a DLC to access Arbitrator.
Now, this detail about him spending his own money is a lie, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. It's because you've never had a job, dude. Volition has not had a job. He thinks that jobs are slavery. I'm not even joking. He straight up says that having a job is like being a slave to the system. In which, I guess in maybe some kind of way, maybe, but even then, that's debatable, and I'm not gonna debate about this on this video. No, I'm not interested in no politics, man. But I will tell him this, having a job is not slavery. It turns out that in order to live life, you do have to do something. You can't just consume content and consume resources, because someone has to work for those resources. And you yourself have to pick up your own slack, Vilitionraxx. That's sort of how it works. I mean, ever since the dawn of man has worked. I mean, that's just a thing. You know, from hunter-gatherers to factory workers, humans have had a lot of different jobs.
Because right now, I'm still have no income, and I'm still waiting for job training program. I'm still worried that every single businesses that hires anybody to get a job will go bankrupt. Well, although it is still really impossible to get hired anyway. I really want to work on a gig to make money, so I can do whatever I want. If I still have no income, I can't do anything I wanted. I can't do anything that I wanted if I have no income. I just think that the Arasaka Corpo from North Korea are responsible for all of that. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was thinking it could be the Arasaka Corpo from North Korea. They are responsible for all of that. I was thinking the Arasaka, they're the one who's controlling the bank system to take over the Steam, so Steam will remove every single game that the Arasaka don't like. It's completely unacceptable. And I really don't want to live in that century. I don't want to live in that the kind of cyber censorship.
Alright, so people are always worried about censorship. That's definitely a thing to talk about on the internet. I mean, that's been talked about to death. But I will tell you this, Volition. Arasaka is not a real company. It does not exist in the real world. I don't even know what kind of world you're living in, but it's certainly not ours if you're talking about Arasaka. I mean, you're doing a Kamehameha on screen right now. That was awesome. But he also talked about that he wouldn't get a job because he's scared that the company he's working for will go bankrupt. Well, dude, what does it matter? Whether you know it will or won't, you don't. You do not know that. I don't even think the company knows that, because the company's plan is not to go bankrupt. It's to succeed. Bankruptcy is not intentional. So this whole thing about being afraid that your company's going to go bankrupt and you're going to be laid off a job, yeah, I guess that is a scary thing for most people, but not you, Volition. You live with your mom. Dude, you live on her. You are leeching resources, man. Anyways, he goes further in detail about why he won't get a job, and it's quite frankly unappealing, let's just say.
I know a lot of you folks will not believe me when I say this, but trust me, the Arasaka Corpos, they are real. They are 100% real, but not Japanese. Those Arasaka Corpos, they are a North Korean spies or North Korean secret agent, or both, but I do know that they are not Japanese. The Arasaka Corpos in real life, they are North Koreans. I believe they could, they could possibly be a Japanese North Koreans.
So you heard it here from the horse's mouth. He straight up said that he believes that this fictional company is a real thing. Like, Jesus Christ, next thing I know, he's going to be talking about how Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2 is going to come get him. You know, Hyperion is going to be putting their space station in the sky, or the Darth Star is going to be there. I said it wrong, but that's besides the point. The point is that he's lost it at this point, man. But soon after this, he decided to make a video talking about how sad he is about 2025, and goes into further detail about his unemployment habits.
In fact, not even in the mood to talk to my own fan, just to let all of you folks know. Yeah, I'm still feeling stressed and depressed over that Medicaid and Medicare cuts that came to me. It just makes me not in a good mood. Not even in a good mood to even talk to my fans in my comments. I am feeling stressed right now, and the reason why it's dark right now, it's just because I don't want to show my face for safety reason. By the way, yeah, it's just makes me feel more hopeless. And in fact, I'm still stuck in a month of August. And August is one of the most depressing months ever. Not even joking. I'm living in a nightmare just because I'm stuck in the month of August. And also, 2025 is absolutely one of the worst year I experienced. How many times I kept suffer over and over and over. I kept hearing so many voices inside my head. It keeps bothering me. I also keep suffering from mental health problem that prevents me from getting a job, that prevents me from doing my job. All of that shenanigan. 2025 is disaster. It's even a lot worse than 2020. It's a lot worse than 2020 right now. I feel like I'm in danger, not gonna lie.
I don't even know why he feels like he's in danger. None of this makes any sense whatsoever, but it never does with Volition. However, he hates the month of August, which is just weird. I don't know how a month you can hate it. I mean, you can hate a season. I can get that. Like, I hate summer. I think summer sucks. It's hot as balls. I can't wait for winter to come around. I get that. But, like, hating a singular month? I mean, maybe if something bad happened that month, I guess, and you still remember it, but I don't think Volition has had anything bad happen to him in August. Not that I know of, anyway. But then also, he said that 2025 has been worse than 2020. And it's just like, bro, 2020 was such a bad year for most people. There was a lot of people who were struggling to get by, people who were in the hospitals. A lot of crap happened during 2020. I mean, god damn, the fact that you're saying that 2025 is worse than that is kind of insulting to the people who had to handle 2020. So, Volition, you have no idea what you're talking about, dude.
I'm still waiting for a programmer to invite me to do job training to help me to find a job that fits me. And just because I would probably end up homeless, that doesn't mean I should become a TikTok beggar. Just like Tofichu. Well, I'm not really calling out Tofichu, but I've been watching a lot of Tofichu archive. I watched the Nova Online archive too. But by the way, back to that. So, no, not try to be a TikTok beggar because I don't want any attention. I don't really want to be famous, and yeah. That sounds very, very stressful. That's the reason why I don't want to be a famous TikTok beggar, because I just don't want to deal with more criticism. I don't want to deal with all kinds of online harassment like any other famous TikTokers had to deal with. I just rather get a job. But there's another reason why it makes it more difficult for me to get a job. First, my mental health problem. Because I have a mental health problem. I have voices inside my head. I keep having a cringe flashback. I keep having a negative cringe flashback all the time. It's just distract me from working easily. And also because I don't have any car, I don't have any motorcycle, I don't own any transportation, and no, taking a bus ride is not an option.
Okay, there's one big problem with what he's saying. He does have transportation. He has someone at his home that is able to drive him around town. And plus, you can make it work. You can make it work. Even if it's just for 1 week, someone else is bringing you to and from work. As soon as you get that first paycheck, you can pay for the bus ride. You can pay for the toll. And you'll make so much money by having this job because you don't pay rent, you don't pay for the bills. So unless your mom makes you, you're going to build up a decent amount of cash over time. You know, it's not going to be multi-million-dollar living, obviously, but it's definitely going to be better than nothing. And plus, you'd be doing something for the community, again, because you haven't been doing anything for the community in a while. I mean, for those of you who don't know, Vilitionraxx was doing community service for William Gloryhole and Christopher Zazel. It was quite the time. You see it on screen where he has a little hand grabber, and he kind of half-asses his little cleaning habits, but I digress. Volition is just making a bunch of excuses on why he can't get a job. You know, I remember when I was working in retail, I knew this one guy who walked to work. He didn't have a car, he didn't have a motorcycle, he didn't even take the bus. He walked miles to get to his job, and he was blown away by that. He was tired every day, and I gave him a lot of slack for that. However, Volition, dude, you can probably find somewhere in your local area that you can walk to. You are thin enough, you are fit enough to walk a few miles to get somewhere. If you manage your time correctly, you can do that.
The bus that goes to the place that I need to go at will rarely show up to my place. That's too. Also because every single bus is surrounded by too many hobos. Surrounded by too many stinky hobos. That's true. Everything is so rough. That is another reason why it makes it too hard for me to get a job. They're always having me to be in an interview, which is not what I wanted to. I do not want to be in an interview. I do not want to be in every single interview. Because first, it had to do with a stupid schedules. Like they're gonna keep schedule that and then and also I'm not really that great at paying attention to his schedules. I'm not that great at but anyway, like I said, I keep forgetting the schedules about when is my interview. When do I have to show up to the interview? And even if I did remember that, well, I've never been to the interview in my entire life. Because I'm an outlaw. Outlaws never been to any job interview in their entire life, I guess. Yeah.
Now this is wild because he's talking about how there are a bunch of icky hobos hanging out at the bus stops, and it's just like, Volition, dude, are you freaking kidding me? You're gonna call them icky hobos? Dude, do you think they want to be homeless? You yourself could be homeless, Volition. You don't have an income. And you're lucky that your stepmom takes care of you and that your income is not needed. But then he goes on to make another excuse on why he can't work. And he said it's because he can't remember schedules. He can't somehow grasp the idea of showing up at a certain place at a certain time. I don't know why that concept is just impossible for him to understand. But he also said that he can't get a job because he's an outlaw somehow. I don't know, but I don't even think he knows what an outlaw is. He doesn't have a warrant for his arrest, from what I know. The guy is wacky, man. This guy is something else. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Now I'd like to shout out John Janis, Jeff of David Clan, Jolanda, Sweaty Prolapse, Win2 Go, Akendrift Princess, Gecko Namer, Tubby Thunder 43, Okie Doll, Dreadhead David 420, Ice Swallow, Halloween Nerd, Slappy, Wildweaver Gaming, Madam Gooseberry, Trixie Bella, Oso David Grunga, Jason Cruel, Delaray, Finn and Aaron, Depressed Rabbit, Brett VTs, All Champion of First Claw, Oversoul, The Black Pearl, Edward Walden Hain, Nick Cliff, Atomic Renegade, Steve's Creepy Van, Evan Reed, Curse Decals, Lord of Worlds, TJ Bender, James, Honda Civic, Tennis Finest, Roboto San, Bakano Sensei, Mochi Cakes, Mad 33s, and Dark Chocolate. And then 6 Cloak 9. Thank you guys for your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.